I got to look at a lot of my mistakes, my failures, the places I didn't become what I wanted, the loves that I lost, the money that I lost, the time that I lost. And I mention those things to say, I can sing because I'm happy, and I can sing because I'm free. For I am not what my thoughts think of me. And I am happy. And I can say it with I can't say it with a straight face because I'm smiling. So I say that at the beginning because this isn't an easy topic to look at. Who says, yeah, I want to look at all those places? But together we're going to. And I say that I am happy, even though I have lost love, money, time, success, name recognition, all of these things. So that as we go into this, go into it relaxed and unafraid. And we're going to really look at it because there's nothing to fear here. Oh, but it feels so intense. Yes, it does. But there's nothing to fear. Because your thoughts are only a little piece of the puzzle. And we're going to look at the whole picture. So, thank you for being brave, because haven't we felt it, even if we haven't expressed it, even if we couldn't let our mind go there, right? How long can my mind think of my losses before I can't take it anymore? And you can live there, or we can expand how we live. And as conscious beings, let's expand. So here we go. I'm going to first start with reading Joe's entire text. And I think it's important, one of the first things he said, which I'll read it. The first thing he said is, I think I have a block or an issue. I think something's holding me back from blossoming in life. And that's an important piece, because that's recognition of what these feelings, these emotions were doing, blocking the blossoming of life. So he wrote me and said, I think it's grief that's blocking. I believe I'm grieving over the man I could have been, not the pitiful excuse of a somewhat man I have become. I grieve over the life I should have had and the man I know I could have been. This awful lump of skin and bone I am is upsetting to me. Grief is the only word I can find that best describes my emotional state right now. The word just feels right. I hope that helps with defining how I feel. I search online and join to the groups, but nothing I do fits with what I'm going through. All the mistakes, choices I made, the decisions I came to, me. My choices have led me further and further away from what I envision I could have been. I mean, it's everything I hate about me and my past, how I think, what I've let myself become, the choice to stay this way, the comfort in my misery. I could go on, but I hope you understand when I say I feel grief. And how many of us understand what Joe's talking about? When I put out the note that I would do this live, I got hit with a lot of my own grief over the past. And you know, I never can plan how it's going to come at me. I know it's a-coming, but I can't plan it. And my inbox got so full, I had to clean it up. So I decided to go to the oldest part and just start deleting. And I found love letters from my spouse that I lost. And I found emails about an idea that I had. I designed a technology, not so much the technology, but what it would do. And I knew it was a great idea. And I tried to get it out there, and I worked very hard and met with people and did all I could. But I couldn't get it to go. And years later, I saw that company be built. $1 billion industry. So I'm not saying I lost a little money. It's $1 billion industry. And I didn't patent the idea. Thought about it. But I made choices to not do that. And I'm looking at it in front of me every day. This idea that I had way before anybody else did. And I'm happy. But I wasn't that first day. And I had to look at what I lost. Recognition. Money. And I lost a woman that I adored, the ground she walked on. Whew. And on top of that, I'm thinking and feeling Joe. And the things and the choices that he made. Where he's in a certain spot. And we all have it. So here all of us are. Not the person we were supposed to be. Living with the choices that we made. Looking at our past. And then, Joe, I think we hear the word grief, we immediately think death. Yeah. And something in us did die. Oh, a lot in me died when I lost my spouse. And a lot in me died when I watched that industry rise without me. And a lot in you has died as you see your things. And Bex, my grief on this subject started when I was young, grieving not having a decent relationship with my father because he was cruel. Sad I couldn't have that like my peers did. And Joe, that part. Angela, I grieve that I never had children. I always meant to, but then developed a disability and could not. Yeah. Trish, spending my youth in drinking, not loving myself enough, making poor choices in relationships, but I'm happy most days. I love that, Trish. Yeah, there's days. There's days. And Dee is saying, Joe, it sounds like your biggest fan and supporter. In some ways, yeah. But I'm my biggest fan. And you know why? Because I know me like nobody else does. And I've pulled my face out of the dirt enough times and picked the gravel out from my cheekbones and my teeth enough times. I'm my biggest fan. And Shane, a mistake I made in a relationship when I was unhealed at 21. I lost my health last year and now bedbound and disabled, grieving my job, my life, my body, my future children, the future I imagined. Yeah. And Joe says that's the prison. You know, my spouse was not my biggest fan. Dee, and I don't mind saying that. I don't mind saying that. But also, it was a long time ago, and I was a different person then. And if I had stopped then, I wouldn't be who I am now. And not that I'm like, woo, woo, but I'm happy. I can be happy, and I want to say every cuss word in the book because it's this big a deal. I'm happy, and I love me, and it's possible. And it's possible in the face of loss. And Trish says, love that you are your biggest fan. I didn't know. It wasn't always that way. But because I've taken the journey that we're going to take right now together. And boy, don't we have a whole lot of what this world is facing in the area of grief and loss. Don't we have it right here with us? And we're together going to go into this energy. Because what happens in these lives isn't me, it isn't you, it is us. It is the one consciousness that we are. And coming together, we've said, hey, we're not here to play. and we brought real things to the table to look at. So let's look at them. And I think we've had enough time of looking at these things from the space of living through them. Because today is not your first day of facing this grief, is it? You've felt it many times. You and I have run from these feelings before. From the insanity, the dark place that it would take us that we didn't think we could find our way out of if we admitted it. We know what's behind that door. And together, we're going to open it for the realist experience, for the truth to come forward, and not my truth, not your truth, but truth. And we're going to do it together. And since we've had time doing it alone, terrified, upset, hurt, grieving, crying, angry, sad, don't know how to fix it, want to give up, ready to curl up and die from this stuff. Let's look at it from a different space. So we're going to breathe in first. So breathing in the air, let it fill our lungs. We feel it coming in through our nose and down into our chest. And because our daily life gives us so much to think about, and especially if we include the past in our thinking, which is all this, isn't it? All those choices, losses, no children, no life, no job, no love, no money. We've thought of those things before. And we felt very alone in it, but look how many of us are on this call. All of us understanding the grief and the insanity that we're afraid we'll feel if we open that door. And so we shore up the walls of this space by paying attention to the breath. And because we were so busy thinking about the past, we haven't fully entered our now. But we're going to now. And we're relaxed as we go into it, breathing in. And we've spent our time looking at this past and not looking at life. And that's not something wrong. We haven't done anything wrong by doing that. It's of course. It's what we do. But this time we're going to breathe in. And when we take this air in, something that we may not have been aware of because we were so busy looking at our past or avoiding our past, that the air we breathe in is alive. It's a living force, a living function of life. And this living function of life enters your body. And it begins to interact. And how do we know that it's alive? Because it takes action. It's not dead. I may not be able to grab it, but the form that it's in and the function it does is alive. So I'm breathing life into me. And this life merges with my body and my bloodstream. So you're breathing in life. You're breathing in an alive, interactive substance that you may not have considered because we were too busy living this life, trying to reach goals that someone else told us were a success. But let's breathe this life in, knowing that we're breathing in a living function. And as we follow that breath down into our lungs, it greets its alive, living counterpart. Its formless, alive, living counterpart, which is you. The you that you may not have deeply met before, but have always lived with. The you that's aware of everything in your past. And the breath, as you breathe it in, follow where it goes. Use your focus to notice where this formless living entity enters you and finds its natural counterpart, its living, formless counterpart. And notice where that's located at in your body. And every breath you continue to take, follow it to that same space. Take your focus from just observing where they connect and merge into that space. Pick your focus into the formless space that you are. And as we rest in this space of formlessness, as we merge into this space of formlessness, let our bodies relax. And be in this now. And this formless space is open to all truth. Doesn't matter what the truth is. It's truth. And this space is calm and still. And this calm, still space allows you to relax. And in this calm and stillness, we open to the love that we are to be expressed. And we let it fill our lungs and mix with this formless air. So that as we breathe, that love fills more of our lungs and it merges with the air into our bloodstream. And we let this love course through our body. And even as we allow this to happen, I can feel the jitters, wondering how this is going to help. Do I have the right spot? Yeah, you do. This isn't something your mind does. This is what your intention does. So you're there. Relax. And we love our bodies. in whatever state they're in, whether we're bedbound or not. Formlessness understands the prison that our bodies can be. But we're going to also work with that. Because the same body that can feel like a prison is not how formlessness looks at it. Formlessness is grateful for the bravery and the daring of you entering life, because we don't control it. We enter this life and give up control. And we're going to stay focused on continuing to breathe into this love. Part of the function of air is to merge with the formlessness that we are, to support the body with energy. So we're holding to that because we're facing the places in ourselves that we're afraid of, or we despise, or hate, or dislike, or grieve. And so formless enters a body, and there are things that happen to the body that we do not control, that change how we can be and do and move. And yet formless is at peace being in that body even when our mind isn't. So what's the prison? Is it the body or is it the mind that creates a prison out of a body? So we breathe in and remind ourselves again that formlessness greets formlessness inside of our being. And we share that love. And in this peaceful space, we can love our body as it is exactly in this moment. Because we're not questioning what it's supposed to be. We're loving what is. So at first, we love our physical body as it is. Whether we think we're in the right body or the wrong body. Whether we think it's failed us or we've failed it. We love the body because it exists and we exist in it. And it's not about judging the home that we live in. It's about loving the body that we live in. About the preciousness of the experience of life. And all this time we've been trying to put together a puzzle of how that life is supposed to look. I'll have this many children. I'll have that much time. I'll meet the man or woman of my dreams and it'll be fabulous and we'll love each other. And, we may have a few things to deal with, but then we'll have this house. And I'll have a good job and he'll have a good job, or I'll invent something and it's going to be great. And that's the puzzle we were putting together. The puzzle that thought we'd have certain physical abilities beyond a certain time frame. We'd have enough time. And we were putting this very tiny puzzle together. And somebody was handing us the pieces. And we just took them. It's going to be 2.5 kids. And it's going to be a dog and a cat. And the guy's going to be this tall. And she's going to look like this. And again, breathe in. Because don't let your mind get going too much. We're breathing in. We're going back to formlessness, greeting formlessness, the air, the living, formless air, merging with the formlessness that we are. As we realize this puzzle picture we were putting together were pieces that someone handed to us. Did you pick the pieces? Or were you following the script that was already written by your society, by your parents, by your desire to be a good girl or a good boy? And the picture that we made was so small, but it had a point, it had a reason. Because behind the desire for money, the desire for a good life, the desire to be able to run physically even when we can't, all those things, those desires for the home, the house, the money, the friends, the job, the success, the recognition, the fame, behind it all was a desire for happiness. And somebody sold us a bill of goods that said, if you do this, then you'll have happiness. If you have success. And in truth, we're grieving someone else's dream that we didn't fulfill. And that's part of it, not all of it. But some of what our grief and success is about wasn't even a success that we would have chosen, but we were told was success. Even the love that we wanted. It's all about getting happiness. And so we look at that puzzle that we made and we never fulfilled. And so let's breathe in the formlessness again. Merging with the formless being that we are, holding the space of love for this environment that we're in, where we as a group of people have decided to look at the life we didn't live and grieve it. And so you have in front of you the puzzle that you made. But the things that you didn't have, and that's different than the puzzle of mine. But we both have a puzzle. And breathing in again, remembering formlessness, right? Because we're holding two spaces right now. The formless space and the life that we were supposed to live. So look at your puzzle and what's in it. What's missing? What didn't turn out right? What part of your past are you grieving there? What are your choices are you angry with yourself about? Look at that puzzle. And see the image that you have on that puzzle. I should be physically mobile. I should be healthier. I should have children. I shouldn't have chose to drink my life away. I've lost too much time in drugs. I didn't meet the person. I didn't become the person I was supposed to be. Have you ever met the person you were supposed to be? See, we've sold ourselves out. We're angrier over an existence that never happened. The what-ifs of that puzzle. What if I'd made different choices? Would I have a different puzzle? But we've sold ourselves out for who we were supposed to be and completely ignored who we are. And that's a big piece of this puzzle, because you got a little puzzle right here in your hand that I was supposed to be, the life I was supposed to have, the dreams that didn't get fulfilled. And I can see in mine my cousin. She lost her daughter at 17. And she grieved the life that her daughter was supposed to have. She couldn't be happy till she let go of the what-ifs and enjoyed what she did have. And I didn't make that up for her. She told me about that. I went to visit her. She had a picture on the wall, and this is 20 years later. She hung a picture on the wall that somebody gave her when her daughter died. And I saw it, and she said, "Oh, have you seen this picture?" And she sat down on the steps of her house that go to the second floor. And she looked at the picture on the wall, and she smiled like I hadn't seen her smile in years. And she was telling me about her daughter and just loving it and smiling and happy. And I looked at her and I said, "You're smiling and you're happy. And she's gone. How did you do it?" And she said, "Instead of looking at what if, I loved what is and was." And it was wonderful, and I love her. And I can look at her now and I can smile. And I can enjoy that. So we look at this puzzle in our hand of what was supposed to be. And we give it a higher priority than what actually is. Because you're still here. You're alive. You exist. You're still present. And yet, we'll eat our life up looking at that puzzle and hating ourselves, or grieving ourselves, or shunning ourselves for a supposed to image, rather than look at who this formless being is. And everything you hold in that puzzle piece is very important. Because I could say, "Oh, that's not what it's about. It's about something else. It's about this or that or the other." And you're holding that picture in this moment right now, that puzzle that you've put together on the life that was supposed to be and how it's supposed to feel and function and be and do. It's not without its own beauty and merit. Because what you hold in that puzzle is everything you ever came here to transmute. So it's got value. Because this little puzzle, that isn't the whole picture of you. It's a picture of what was supposed to be. The things you lost, the things that didn't go right. That's what's in that hand, that puzzle. Whew. And the beauty of it isn't its static perfection. The beauty of it is the ability to love yourself even though. I don't want to love myself even though. I want this puzzle. I want this life. I want what was supposed to be. Do you feel that energy at all? Or is it just me? And what is it that values a static puzzle over the formless being that you are? It's another thought. Where's that thought coming from? What is its agenda? What does it want? And mine wants the puzzle because then it could show everybody, I did it. I made it. I'm okay. I was the success. I made the right choices. I did it. And is that running my life for me or for this puzzle? So I'm going to put that thought in the puzzle too. And it's interesting, when I put that thought into my puzzle, it starts attacking everything in that puzzle. What happens with yours? So as you look at the thoughts that come up about this puzzle, that claim this puzzle is more important than the formlessness that you are, than now, put it in the puzzle and see how it treats the puzzle. Formless being is the consciousness that you are. The consciousness that's here existing in a body, but is not limited to that body. It's formless. It's the energy that can merge with air that comes into your body as a life force for you. So let's breathe in and merge that air with this formless being. It's the part of you that can sense where your feet are when you're not looking at your feet and you can't see them. And it's the unconditional loving being that you are that didn't come here to complete a tiny little supposed puzzle. But our minds listen to society, listen to what ifs, and guess what? It doesn't deny the truth that you didn't accomplish all those things. It's okay. What do you mean it's okay to not have the life I was supposed to have? I'm not saying that it feels okay. I'm saying that your life is way bigger than this puzzle, but that puzzle gives you information and clues. It lets you see how the choices we make do take us different directions. And that is a part of what you were here to see. That though you don't like it or think it maybe, that every wrong choice that's in this puzzle was the fastest route to right now. And if in right now you're present enough to feel the formless being, to acknowledge it, that it has power and love of its own, that is you. It is not separate from you. It is you. It has wisdom and awareness. You have that wisdom. You are that awareness. And this puzzle has awareness as well of what happens from certain choices. Things we don't want to do again. Maybe we were young and stupid and 21 and we make a mistake and it affects the rest of our life. It's in that puzzle too. And so that puzzle has its own wisdom, its own guidance. But it is not the complete you. And the formless being that you are was willing to look at this puzzle to recognize that though we don't like everything about this puzzle, and it feels like it hurts us, it was the fastest route to now. Because we are all like water. We'll take the least obstructed route down the hill. When rain falls on a mountain, it follows the route of least resistance for the fastest movement. And that's what that puzzle is that you're holding in your hand or your mind's eye or wherever it is. I can feel mine sitting in the sand. It's the fastest route to now. So what's so important about right now? What's so important about this moment, looking at the grief of our life that we didn't live and we can't get back and we can't fix? What's the value of that? What's the importance of that? What's the preciousness of this moment, whether we're stuck in bed or can walk or move or do? We are all the same at our root of formlessness. And in this moment, every bit of consciousness that you are has shown up for this moment in time. What is it in this moment that is so freaking important that this is the fastest route to it? All the mistakes, all the choices. What is right now so freaking important? First is the awareness that we all share the same experience. We may have different wounds, but we're all wounded. We all have a puzzle that didn't happen, and we feel something about it. We all share the time that we think we've lost. So there's a belief in that time, and yeah, there's life. I can't go back and live my 20s again. But what do I know in this moment that lets me understand that I lived the 20s that I needed to live? Because if I hadn't lived my 20s the way I did, I wouldn't be here right now. And here, right now, is the space of unconditional love for yourself. The allowance of being happy in spite of this puzzle. That in fact, this puzzle has brought you to this moment so that you can excavate happiness from the layers of puzzles you've put over it. It's got to look like this. It's got to look like this puzzle for me to be happy. No. You can love you and be happy regardless of this puzzle. Because this puzzle is a supposed life, and you really lived one. This puzzle didn't have obstacles, didn't have losses, didn't have tragedies. It didn't have self-esteem issues. It had nothing to transmute. It had a story. But everything in that puzzle is what you're here to transmute. Because this is what is between your life and happiness. This puzzle believes it's the door to happiness. But you lived a life, a real life, and it wasn't a puzzle. You lived a life and a real life, and it came with distractions and pain and choices And the reason it's the fastest way, because every single choice you made was the best choice that you knew how to make. It may have been a screwed up choice, a bad choice. It doesn't matter. It was the best choice that you knew how to make at that time. And you may have thought, well, at one point in time I thought about doing this and I didn't do it and I regret that. But the reason you chose it, it was the best choice you could make at the time, or you would have made a different one. But this is a supposed life. And you lived a real life with real consequences and real shifts and real changes. And it was never supposed to be this puzzle. It was supposed to be what you actually lived. Because now, with the recognition that you are more than your thoughts and more than your body and more than you've ever understood, you have the opportunity to unconditionally love everything in this puzzle. And if you do, if you choose to unconditionally love everything in that puzzle, we'll go back to that first part of Joe's text, because it will allow his life to blossom. So here you are, sitting with a choice. I have the choice to live in regret and grief and dislike of myself, agonizing over time and being unhappy, rejecting the reality of where my body is physically, even though I wish it was different. I have the opportunity in this lifetime, in this moment right now, to love me and this puzzle of supposed life that didn't match what I really encountered as I went about life. If I can love me in spite of not having the money, the children, the spouse, the happiness, the life, the this, the that, the money, whatever it is in that puzzle. If you can love you and be happy, even though it doesn't match this puzzle, and you can transform every bit of that and have happiness. And you know what sucks? It's a choice. So I've looked at all these bad choices I've had in this puzzle, and I'm sitting in a choice point again. To love me unconditionally and be happy without this puzzle supposed dreams with the loss of time. Or I can choose to beat myself up with it. I didn't want it to be my choice. I wanted it to happen for me. But consciousness isn't a happen for me kind of guy. Consciousness is the ability to love yourself unconditionally. To choose to do that. To choose that loving you is more important than all the things that were supposed to happen. And it sucks that it's a choice until you choose it. So let's go there. And to go to that space, we breathe in again. And the living energy that is air doesn't reject us. It accepts us instantly. Merges with our body. You can't get more accepting than merging. Remember that. You don't get more accepting than merging. breathe that air in. And it merges with your own body and with the life force, the formlessness. The life force is formless. The life force is consciousness. And it merges with that in you, inside your body. And there is love. And allow that love to fill you, fill your body. Let it fill your chest and your torso. And let it go down your arm that's holding that puzzle. And let it fill your legs and your thighs and your pelvis, your feet, and your hairline and your skin and every organ. And allow that life force and its love to grow. And did you know you were this life force? And don't just observe it anymore. Merge with the life force itself. Take your focus into the vibration of love that you are. And from that space, loving you as you are, exactly as you are right now, knowing that every choice you've made was the fastest route to this moment. And in this moment you have a choice. You can look at that puzzle in that hand from this loving space. And you can love every fucked up choice, every screwed up choice, every wrong statement, every supposition, every loss, every being, every repetitive wrong choice you ever thought you made. Love it. Because it got you here at the choice point for unconditional love of self. And you love it just a little bit, just to see that you can, that it's actually possible. And you allow it to change your perceptions. Because it comes with wisdom and information and understanding of lifetimes that created these choices, not just this lifetime, but the lifetimes behind the way you behave and do and feel, and exactly what you came here to transmute. Because see, if you can love you and all the screwed up puzzle pieces that were supposed to happen and didn't, you're free. You can love you. You can be happy with or without. And that is being the consciousness that you are, because there's no amount of money, no amount of recognition, no amount of perfect choices that's going to make you happy. No spouse, no kids, no job. Nothing can make you happy. But you can allow yourself to be happy with who you are, as you are. And it's a choice. It's a damn choice. It's not something you win. It's not something you earn. It's you choosing to love you as you are. And can you? And do you want to? Because it really boils down to, do I want to love me in spite? And then I shave off that. Because you know what? It's not in spite of all this. Because there's a part of your mind that'll say, well, if you just got it a little bit right, I could love you. You're not loving yourself in spite. You're loving you. End of story. And everything in this puzzle was worth it to get to this moment. Because in this moment, you're either going to choose you or you're not. You're going to love you or you're not. It's not beyond your capability. It's a choice. Dang it. It's a friggin' choice. I wanted it to just happen. But how beautiful it is that it's a choice. Because when you can choose you, choose to love you, and accept you, then you recognize that amazing, loving being that you are. You can only choose it as you recognize that you're capable of that. That you are that. And it's not about being, oh, I'm worthy enough or good enough or any of it. It's the acceptance, the choosing. And when we first think, well, I'll choose that, but what do I do when the mind comes back? You go back to this space and you choose it again. Because, yeah, the mind's going to come back about it, but it's never going to come back like it was. Because when you can choose you, to love you, you can face anything in your life that you're here to transmute. And you're not here to face what somebody else is facing. Because guess what? We all face different things. Some were physical, some were mental, some were emotional, some financial, some whatever it was. You're here to love you exactly as you are in this moment with every freaking choice that you ever made, because it wasn't really about the choices and the life and the supposed. It was about this moment that you got to as fast as possible. Because in this moment, you get to choose you or not. And I choose me. What do you choose? I choose to love me. Screwed up me. Screwed up little me with all my bad choices, with the spouse that I lost. See, I never defined how that loss was. And I love me anyway. I love me even though I never made my idea happen. And somebody else is making billions off of it. I love me. I love my body that's aging and doesn't look like what I looked like in my 20s. I love the choices that I made, not because they were perfect choices, but because they got me here. Because loving me as I am, not in spite of, but because I am here, and I can choose it, then I can be happy in the darkest of times, because I am the light that shines my own way. I don't have to be afraid of taking a risk and failing, because I'm going to love me anyway. I don't have to be afraid of not meeting that right person or the loss of time, because I get to live the rest of my life loving me. And whether that's for 100 years or not, doesn't matter. Because once I've achieved this in the human form, I'll never lose it. And every life, and all that life is after I'm dead and gone, I'll never have lost loving me, no matter what it took to get me here. I'll never lose the ability to love me unconditionally. And whatever I face here and for the rest of eternity, I am free and I am safe. Because no matter what, I love me. And I kiss the ass of every mistake I made that got me here. And I'm fine with it. So what do you choose? do you choose to love you? And love that puzzle, because that puzzle is only a portion of the big picture. That puzzle was one step on the path to loving you. Doesn't matter what its images were, or what was fulfilled or what wasn't. It was a step on the way to loving you. And which do you choose? And that's up to you. For me, I love that puzzle. I appreciate every aspect about it, even the ones that cause me tears. And though I feel like I have lost time and I can't go back and get it, for the first time in my life, I can say I love me and absolutely mean it. I love me unconditionally, as is, all mistakes included. I love me. And I can be happy and take risks because I'm going to be there for me and I'm going to love me. And so, thank you, puzzle. Thank you, supposed life I never had, so that I can love me and live for the first time. And if it took me 50 years or 15 minutes, I don't care. Because this love, that I can generate it and have it for myself, no matter what I've done, is priceless. It's worth dying for, and I didn't have to. And for the first time, I may live. And in the realm of eternity, it's not been that long at all, and I've got all the time in the world. And at least now I can enjoy that time because I love me. I'm not chasing some supposed dream and grieving that I didn't accomplish it. Because I accomplished the greatest gift to me of all, which is to love me as I am.